everyone see the presentation now?
Just gonna double check, sorry.
Okay,
Yes, perfect.
great.
Thank you very much.
Brill, lovely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone's patience. But yes, well, we just made an introduction right there. So we do have BSL interpreters here, and we've just made a nice introduction to them. Irina and Tony are here, so that's great. And we have myself in the core team. My name is Samuel, and Anna here as well. Okay, I think a little bit of housekeeping. As I said, we are recording this session, so we are able to use this so we can share this with others who weren't able to make it, and also be able to split up the information to give additional guidance on our website. So if you prefer to not be recorded, please make sure that you are just off camera. If you need any support during this session, just pop a message into the chat. Anna is a member of the core team, as well as any members of the community neighborhood team. They should be able to help if needed. And like I said, we have BSL interpreters here for the session. So before we move on, we're going to give an overview of the People Powered Places program now. I'm going to be passing over to Anna to give a breakdown for us.
Hello, I just wanted to triple check that people who need the BSL interpreter can see, because I've spotlighted them, but you might need to pin them.
Yeah, Laura, thumbs up. Shathi's looking down somewhere. Sorry. Try to get attention. Laura can see the interpreters. Can you see the screen? Can see the screen, see the interpreter. Shathi, you see the screen? Yep, can see everyone. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
For me to, sorry, Anna, to interrupt. For me, I can see Irina and I can see the PowerPoint, but I can't see any of the deaf participants.
Tony, you can click on view, and if you go side by side gallery, maybe that would help.
Yeah,
I
think it changed when I got pinned at the top. Lovely, got it. Change it back. Okay.
Oh, well, thank you, and sorry. I think we are trying our best with BSL interpreters on Zoom. It's new to us. So, welcome.
Fine.
So what
Yeah.
is People Power Places? So you might have been to one of the Our Ideas events or the launch event, so you would have seen the next couple of slides. But just in case you haven't, it's Newham Council's participatory budgeting programme and is one of the largest in the UK. We're really proud of that. Participatory budgeting means that residents decide how local funding is spent. So we have £1.6 million worth of funding to give to voluntary community and faith sector organisations, as well as resident-led projects and youth-led projects. And the money comes from developers called the Neighbourhood Community Infrastructure Levy, or NSIL. So you'll see all the new buildings around Newham, they have to give a portion of their money to the council to improve the local area. And Newham Council has decided one of the ways it wants to spend this money is through People Power Places. And the Royal Docks team, which is a partnership between Newham Council and the Mayor's Office, the London Mayor's Office, have got the Royal Docks team, and they love our programme and have given us an additional £80,000 for Beckton and Royal Docks and Custom House in Canning Town, which is where their focus of work is. So we've been running since 2018. We've been called many different things over the years. You might know us as community assemblies, citizens community assemblies, but we've been People Powered Places since 2023. And we have funded over 300 projects in the last cycle, which was 2023-25. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat and reading the slides. We funded 114 projects, which reached over 54,000 engagements, so residents who were engaged in the program, which was amazing. So next slide, please. So how does it work? So this is a map of Newham. We've divided Newham into 8 neighbourhoods. I sort of want to do a bit of a, in the chat, can you name all the neighbourhoods? There's already someone, Abdul's at Plaistow Library. So Plaistow is in one of the neighbourhoods. We've been asked about Stratford. So Stratford covers West Ham and the Olympic Park. Does anyone else know any of the other neighbourhoods? Beckton, yeah, we've got Beckton and Royal Docks in the south of the borough. Forest Gate in Maryland, yeah. Oh, we've got big representation. Custom House in Canning Town, absolutely. Now I have to remember the ones you haven't said. So we've got Plaistow, Green Street, Manor Park, East Ham. Yeah. So yeah, lots of different parts of the borough. So each neighbourhood has £200,000, and residents have already chosen the local priorities of each neighbourhood, which we'll go on to in a minute, which will shape the types of projects that can receive funding. So residents, voluntary, faith and community sector, and young people can apply for funding. And then residents decide how funding is spent by voting for their favourite projects, which will take place in November. So that's how it works in a nutshell. And I'll take you through the timescale, the timeline. Next slide, please. So we have just come to the end of this choosing section. So I'll come on to that again in a minute. I just mentioned about the local priorities, and now we are in the apply. So you can apply for funding to bring your ideas to life, and we're running support clinics to help with your application. In November will be the big vote. So that's where residents will vote for the projects that they think will make a difference to their neighbourhood, which is really important that you put your project on Newham Co-Create, which we'll go into in more detail later. But that's how residents vote for your project. And then you have between March 26 and February 2027, so a year, to deliver your project. And then in March 2027, which feels ages away, but will probably be here before we know it, we will celebrate all our achievements. So that's the plan for the next 2 years. So yeah, we work on a 2-year cycle. I can't remember if this was my slide or your slide. I'm going to keep going until Samuel interrupts me. So we've made...
Sorry,
Right.
Anna, and
Yeah,
we're just going to swap interpreters.
Cool.
Okay, Samuel. Perfect.
Great. So we've made a few changes to People Powered Places since the last cycle. So we are launching an alumni network, hopefully later this year. That's currently in the works at the moment. We currently have a youth advisory board of 15 young people who are doing more of that strategic work. So they've been a key part of helping our application forms be more accessible to young people for the youth-led projects. But we found that their insights have been really valuable. So we've used them across the application forms. And we're also limiting the number of times project leads can receive funding to 3 times. And this is to ensure there's greater equity of funding and that it's fair across the borough, and that we're not just repeating the same organisations again and again. So, applying for funding. Applications open last Friday. Hopefully you've seen something about it somewhere. We've got social media up, Westfield. You should start seeing that on the big screen in your libraries. And applications will close on Sunday, the 14th of September at 11 p.m. So you've got a good 2 months there to apply for funding. We will be accepting applications via Plinth, which is our new online platform, and Samuel will be going through that in detail later. You can also apply by video, audio, or you can request Word document applications. And your community neighbourhood teams will be able to provide you with personalised support. Next slide, please. I think this is over to you now.
Oh,
Samuel, are you
there
with
we
us?
go. Yep.
Oh,
Apologies for that. Just navigating the tech there. So yes, thank you, Anna. So how to apply? I think everyone should be able to access the Newham Co-Create website, so you are able to see the main People Powered Places program. But scroll a little bit further down the bottom, you will find the community neighborhood pages, and that is where you will be able to find which neighborhood you want to apply under, and from there to apply for the fund. We will, I believe we're gonna, oh, I've just seen something in the chat, the interpreter's not showing. Let's have a look here. Just want to make sure. Yep. Gail, do let us know if you still have some issues. I'm gonna see if Anna can help with that.
I think Shafi had her hand up.
Shaf,
Oh, she's just making sure you can see.
just making sure.
Oh, so Shafi's just clarifying what the sign. I think Tony Shafi was clarifying when we swap over, we do a sign. And what does that
Oh,
mean? I think she wanted to know what that means.
okay.
So Tony's just explaining that when Irina finishes or Tony finishes, we swap over. So
Okay.
we use this sign because there's two interpreters. We're co-working, so we're taking turns. So this
Okay.
sign is just to explain that we're swapping over because each interpreter works within 15 minutes each. So one interpreter's camera will go down, the other person will be showing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So we're just double checking. So everyone,
Okay.
yep.
And I've got both of yourselves, Irina and Tony, pinned, so it should be
Yes, it's just to explain how I think we just need to explain how we're going to work together. But we've explained that when the active interpreter's on, the screen's on. The inactive interpreter, the screen's off, and that's what
okay.
we've clarified that now.
Okay. Great.
So
I
Shafi now understands, and
and
this is the first time we're doing this remotely with interpreters. So sorry, everyone.
apologies.
It's just taken a bit of time, but thank you so much for everyone's patience. We're just trying to make sure this is nice and smooth for everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, I second that. And Gail, just wanted that Gail said something in the chat. Are you, Gail, are you able to also see okay? Yes, I think we've got a thumbs up there. Okay, I'm going to continue with the slides. Okay, so thank you everyone for everyone's patience there. So, yep, log online, go onto the Newham Co-Create website. You will need to, you have the first option to complete them online. However, if you need to use a Word document or submit an application via video or audio, you can make that request through your community neighborhood teams. We always advise before you submit your application, make sure you check absolutely everything with all the questions you have completed, and make sure that if you are applying as a part of a group, that you have everyone involved in that process, so everyone is aware and it knows what has been required, and everyone pretty much signs up to what is being submitted. If you want to make any changes to your submission, you can contact the community neighborhood team and request an amendment. However, you cannot make any changes, obviously, after the deadline. So yes, if you are able to, complete it a little bit earlier and things, that's always all great. It gives you plenty of time if you need to make any adjustments. Okay. So who can apply? So Anybody who lives, works, learns in any of the community neighborhoods in Newham can apply. There is no prior experience or knowledge needed. So you do not need to be an absolute whiz or expert about how you complete these applications and applying for grants or things like that. Should be an absolutely welcoming experience, an opportunity for anyone that hasn't done it before. And do not worry, we have all the the good teams, great people, resources, and capacity to support you if you have any troubles in completing this. You cannot apply if you are part of a People Power Places working group anywhere in Newham. The working group will be people who come in as an additional support of the sort of projects that get run. If you are a member of those, you can't unfortunately apply. And yes, we highly encourage new groups to apply to bring fresh project ideas, but we also encourage those who are able to apply again to bring new fresh ideas and something different to tackle the priorities in our neighborhoods is always a good thing. Why should you apply for funding? Well, obviously, you access the seed funding for organizations like yourselves, VCFS organizations. You can apply for up to £20,000. There's great community. You'll be able to gain community buy-in, develop your knowledge and skills, and grow your network. So this is a fantastic opportunity to really embed yourself in the community, meet some fantastic people in your community, make a difference, learn something new, and develop your sort of skill set, and hopefully grow your network. And there's a possibility in these projects that they flourish into something bigger and better and become more stable part of the community. These are the reasons why we think it's really important for you to apply. Anna, I think I'm going to bring you in for the priority themes.
Yes. So, can we get some hands up who was at the Our Ideas event over the past couple of weeks? Got one hand up, two, and a thumbs up.
Mm.
Okay, the numbers are coming in. 3, so 6. 6. Oh, yeah, we've got some in the chat. 7, 8. Okay, so you'll be quite familiar with the priorities. So Newham Council has a corporate plan. Thank you everyone for that. You can put your hand down now. So we've got our corporate priorities and we have selected 6 out of 8 of them. So they're health and well-being, inclusive economy, environment and public spaces, community safety, youth empowerment, and community development and participation. And since the 3rd of June, so at our launch event, residents have been choosing local priorities. So the launch event, they could do it there.
Oh.
Oh, you're going too
Oh,
far.
sorry.
Go back. Go back a slide.
Apologies. Let me bear with me 1 second. My computer has just.
Okay.
Sorry.
People can apply online, in libraries, community centres, and finally at the Our Ideas events. And across Newham, there have been over 2,900 resident engagements in deciding the local priorities, which is just incredible. We've been blown away with the amount of engagement in that. And 844 residents attended the Our Ideas events. So there's been a real spread of residents deciding what priorities should be in each neighbourhood area. And Samuel, next slide, please, for the grand reveal. So these are the priorities in each neighbourhood. So you might want to take a picture of this slide because for your project to go through to the voting stage, you need to demonstrate how your project meets at least one of these priorities in your neighbourhood. So if you are applying in East Ham, your project needs to address either health and well-being, community development and participation, and or community safety. So your project can meet either one or all three of those priorities. So how it works is that working group members will be scoring all the applications, and if your project does not meet one of those requirements, one of those priorities, it will not go through to the vote. So this bit is really important. So we'll put it up for another 30 seconds for you to take a screenshot or a photo of this slide. It's also all on You and Co-Create and in the guidance documents. So you can't miss it. Hopefully you can't miss it. Great.
Great.
I think that's been 30 seconds.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, so some practical.
Sorry, bear with me 1 second.
Oh,
Sorry, I've just lost Shafi.
Oh, Tony. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
are we all connected? Okay.
I think Shafi's still asking about that sign of swapping over. So we're just explaining. So now that Irina is back on, so my screen is showing. Can Shafi see Irina? No, she can't see me. Tony's just explaining. So when I'm online, so when Irina's online, but Shafi can't see my screen. Sorry, everyone. She can't see my screen.
Yeah.
Tony, can she see me? Sorry.
Would it help for us to stop sharing so that we can see see everyone and
Yeah.
then
Oh, that's okay.
yeah?
It's okay.
Okay. She can see us now.
Okay. Is it okay to continue? Just want to make sure.
Right, Tony's just clarifying that Tony's screen is now going to go off. Irina's going to stay on. That's okay? Lovely.
Okay,
Right.
super.
And I'm just going to check that she can see me. Sorry, everyone. Yes, okay. All right then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, everyone.
Well,
Just to make sure
thank
we
you,
can see each
everyone.
other.
No worries. So let's continue on. So practical details. Projects are expected to start from March 2026 and be completed by 28th of February 2027. So we will the votes will happen in November later this year, and we'll use the next few months just basically going through the final details, getting everybody ready and set up to make their start. But yes, from March next year is when the project should be up and running and doing its thing. Anna's already mentioned that projects need to address at least one or more of the three priorities of those that were voted by the residents in the neighborhoods that you're going to apply for. You can only apply for one project in the People Power Places cycle for this one. So you can't, apply for two in different areas. It can only be one. The projects will need to be an entirely new project and not a continuation of a previous People Power Places project. So if anyone did apply for the 2023-2025 fund, I think, it cannot be a continuation of that. It will just need to be brand spanking new. And your project must be locally based to your chosen neighborhood and not borough-wide. The simple reasoning is with £20,000 that you may apply for, you can most definitely make an effect in a local area with that amount of money as compared to trying to do something new and wide. Just think of it that way. Let's move on. Permissions and policies. As some of you may probably already be aware, but when you do apply and you're looking to do a project that's in a public space or something like that, you may need to get permissions. You need to make sure that when you are in the application form, you provide as much information as you can in terms of if you have already got permissions from landowners or from public spaces to be able to use them and to provide that information. You need to gain permission in places like in libraries or community centres. Again, be sure to add them into the application form. If your project is working with children and vulnerable adults, you will be asked to provide safeguarding policies and provide training certificates and DBS checks. So this is not necessarily requested right now, but as you continue on with your application and if it proceeds and moves forward, it will be at a later stage where you would be asked to provide that information. But all of this is already
Can I have a quick
provided.
question, please? Yeah?
Sorry, if we can leave the questions till a little bit later, that'd be great. Thank you. But all of this information is in the application guidance document, which is available on the website. We'll be able to pop that into the chat as well, so everyone gets a copy. And if there's anything uniquely specific to your needs that is not available, please just get in contact with us. One of the parts of the application form is requirement to complete a consultation. And that is a process I'm sure some of you may already know, but that is a process in which you reach out to the immediate area in which you want to do your project, and you basically contact and get in contact with the residents, and you are basically asking to make sure that what you're doing doesn't negatively impact them in any way. So we've got a few pointers here that you would need to do a consultation in public spaces such as like parks or in public pathways or in somewhere in a housing estate, but anywhere really in public where residents reside, work or live, you may need to reach out and conduct a consultation and find out. It's really important that you provide this information in the application form, and it is also very important to keep this evidence that you've done this consultation throughout the length of the project. So just keep that information, keep it as a really important, vital part of the overall process. But even if you are doing a project that does not need a consultation, think about it this way: to take to use this as an opportunity to reach out to your community and to get sort of let residents know about your project, to gather support, to garner interest on your project. So it's a good way to also network and just get your project idea out there, and to take that as an opportunity. I'm going to just move on to the next slide. So in the application form, we've had to make a fairly big change to how we complete the budget question. This budget question will be asking you to provide us as much of your sort of project costs, maintenance costs, and when you expect to use the funding. We have made some changes by making sure that we've updated our catalog of costs, which is available on the New & Co Create website. And the application guidance document also provides a little more detail as to how to expense certain things like salaries and how to deal with things with volunteers and young people, being able to pay them and so on and so forth. In this part as well is that we need to make sure that in your application you are showing absolute value for money. You're making the most of what you're asking for. You're finding ways to be reasonable and most cost effective in the costs that you're applying for or adding to your budget as well. And it's really important overall that you provide as much detail as you possibly can. If there are any issues in this process that you're not quite sure on, or you're unsure whether you can add as a project cost or not, please just get in contact with us, get in contact with the community neighborhood team, and they should be able to help you there. Bear with me 1 second. How you will receive funds. So if you are successful and you have started your project and you receive the funding, from the very start, you will receive the first half, which is £10,000. And then what will happen is the remaining funds will be split into two, where once you have spent your first £10,000 and you've completed a monitoring form and some evaluation forms that we would ask from you, we will provide you with the next 25% of your funding, which is £5,000. Once you have spent that, and again, we will ask for another monitoring form, another evaluation form, providing copies of receipts and invoices, and making sure you've tracked everything that has been spent. We'll be able to provide the remaining 25%, which is £5,000, so £20,000 as a whole. And then at the end, we'll have another evaluation form to complete. And that will be the overall guidance in how you receive funds. Anna, can I bring you in for the next slide, which is the case study?
Yeah, of course. So we wanted to share some case studies. As I mentioned at the beginning, we funded over 300 projects, and they've done loads of different things. We've had like lots of self-defense classes to improving the local area in terms of putting in planters or trees, or play equipment, a skate ramp. We've had lots of projects around bringing people together to reduce their loneliness and isolation. And we've also had a few food banks, or in this case, a food pantry. So in East Ham, E6 Sisters was E6 Sisters Community Pantry was put forward by Funmi. She is really well connected in her local community. She set up E6 Sisters during COVID, and she saw how the cost of living crisis was having an impact on her community and her neighbours. So yeah, she set up E6 Sisters Community Pantry, and she managed to get a space in the local school, in a primary school. Residents pay £10 to subscribe for the year, and they pay £10 for each time they come, and they can take 15 items of branded food products. They also get food when they're there, and they also have lots of clothing items as well. And yeah, one of the attendees, Quinette, said the cost of living is so high, it helps me save money for other things. So it's nice knowing I'm coming here to get food and clothes, especially when my children are growing so fast. It's really nice. I appreciate it so much. And what is really impressive about this project is when it started, it just sort of gained speed really quickly. So they managed to get donated food from Asda. As I said, they had free space in Central Park Primary School. They built shelves for them to store everything in. They have clothing donations from West Ham United Irons supporters. The Good Hotel in Royal Docks donated kettles and 100 mattresses, which Funmi then donated to families. So Funmi has created lots of incredible partnerships. Sorry, if you're not speaking, can you go on mute, please? So yeah, she has developed lots of partnerships with lots of businesses in the local area to continue the good work that she's doing. And she has since set up as a community interest company so that she can continue to attract funding. So yeah, that's a real success story from People Power Places.
Bro, thank you so much, Anna. Thanks for sharing that. I think before we move on to the next stage, I think we've unpacked quite a lot of information for everyone already, and we've got quite a few questions. Anna has done her best to respond to many. I do want to take the next sort of 5 or so minutes, or 5-10 minutes, just to see if anybody has, if they want to raise their hand, if they do have any questions that, questions on what we've discussed so far. Okay, can I, Jill, I see your hand has been raised, if you can bring you in.
Oh, sorry, we're just gonna
Oh.
swap over to Tony.
Sure, we're just going to switch over and then, yeah.
Hi, thanks for the space to ask the question. I asked a question in the chat whether we need to be incorporated as a requirement. I think someone did respond that we do need to be incorporated, but I did ask a follow-up question, which is what legal structure do we need to be? Do we need to be a charity or a community interest company? Or if we're limited by guarantee, limited by shares, that's not possible. Like, can someone just clarify the legal structure? That would be really great. Thanks.
I can take this one. Sorry, who asked the question? Should we just stop sharing the screen for a minute so we can all see each other?
Yeah, it's me, Jill, right here.
Oh, hi, Jill. So are you in touch with Compost London?
No.
So Compost London can provide you all the information that you need on this. I'll just get their link in the chat.
Okay, sorry, maybe I'll just narrow it down. We're a community interest company, so can we apply as a CIC or we're out of scope?
Yeah, you can apply as a community interest company.
Okay, great, thank you. I think I did see Shamin bring her hand in first. Next.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. I did have a question. I was approached by some college students from Newvik, and they were asking me, okay, the criteria is live, work, and study in Newham. So what is the criteria for studying in Newham? Do they have to study a certain amount of hours to apply for a project, or what is the criteria?
There's no amount of hours needed. Study, you could be in, you know, secondary school, you could be in college, you could be at university. It's you're studying. You're here to get an education. That's really the requirement. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. And I think next I did see Gail D'Souza.
Yes, obviously because there's monetary involved. So you would say if you're going for the 20,000 in the community, you do need to have your a bank account set up because it's quite a large amount of money. So the responsibility of money, and when you just touched upon students and things like that, it's you know, the monetary side of it becomes important, wouldn't it, for students? Because I personally wouldn't just give 5,000 or 10,000 just to a student or something like that, because they have to be able to manage money.
Correct. So for all the applications, we would not be sending funds over to a personal bank account, for instance. If you are a VCFS organization, we would like to think that you already have sort of an organizational bank account set up, which allows us to sort of send the funds safely over. If you are an applicant that doesn't have that structure in place, however, this is why we have the service from Compost London, where Compost London effectively acts like a treasurer bank account on your behalf. So
Right.
we can do it that way. Youth-led projects, we would not ask specifically a young person to give their bank details. It will be the organization or the school in which they are partnering with, where we can disperse their funds. But we can finalize that as the applications go by. But no personal bank account details. Has to be a treasurer's bank account or the use of Compost London bank account services. Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
Bro. And then I had Gail Newham, if that's okay. If you can unmute yourself, please, Gail.
Hi everybody, my name's Gail. I am one of 24 Robert Burns humanitarians across the world. I am trying to set up Robert Burns Newham Pet Food Bank, working out of the Mall in Stratford, and I've been actively asked to participate in this. my concern is that the pet food bank is aimed to cover, once it's up and running, the whole of the borough. And I've now been told that if I was to do that, we couldn't apply for funding. So I'm quite confused.
So there's an opportunity for you to apply for funding, no problem, but it would have to be locally based. So it'd be, I believe it would be Stratford and West Ham, in which you can apply for the funding and start your launch your project from. To do it borough-wide, unfortunately, it will not be possible. It would only have to be locally based. So there's no, you can still definitely apply. It would just mean you have to have a focus specific to Stratford and West Ham as a borough and start from there.
At the moment, our focus is Stratford because we've just been offered distribution and storage in the mail.
Okay.
And I have to say the local businesses are helping us.
Okay.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
No worries, Gail. I saw Abdul, and then I'll bring in Kemi, and then I think if there's any no more questions, we'll move on to the actual online application form. Abdul? Are you there, Abdul? Abdul Ali?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep. What's your question?
I had put on the headphones, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've got everything in place. I've got the bank account, business bank account. I've got the insurance. I've got EIC registered company, but I'm still waiting. I've applied for the DBS for my club, which is in the process. I don't know how long it's going to take. So my question is, if the DBS is not out in time, do I still have to apply for the funds?
Your DBS is not necessarily required immediately at this application stage. We've still got 7 weeks up until the 14th of September. It's not 100% required at this stage, so you don't worry about that. But do continue to chase and just chase them as much as you possibly can.
I've sent them an email twice, and they're saying basically they have registered my club onto the FA portal, which is already there. But when you go to the safeguarding section, it says that the DBS awaiting ID verification. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Well, we can't help you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you just need to follow up with them. All right.
Yeah, I'm just following up with them anyway. Thank you so much.
Real. Thank you. I did see somebody have their hand up, and then I think I lost it for a second. I just want to make sure I covered it.
I didn't want to have my hand up because you said my name. It's Kemi.
Oh, Kemi. Hi, Kemi.
Hi, Samuel. Thank you both for the presentation. Just a quick one. So we're a CIC, and we have made some connections with other organisations to deliver workshops for young people around engaging in employability skills in Stratford. So that's the aim. But the question that I have for you is, because those other organisations are not CICs, how would you suggest that that is worded? So we would be the main people for the CICs, and then we've linked up with larger organisations to help those young people.
I think I'll be best to answer this question by moving on to the next stage, which is actually going through the online application form. This is already up on the website now, so everyone can access it, but we're going to do a run through of the online application form. So
can I just say one thing? Just with regard to some people that were talking about the we need to have insurance, indemnity insurance, for people that have just started out as a CIC. An organisation that would really benefit them is the Federal Bureau for FSB for small businesses. So if anybody wants to access them, they're really cheap and helpful to organisations that are starting up as new CICs, because I'm seeing quite a few questions coming through about that, and they give you insurance as well.
Kemi, if you can put that in the chat, that
Yes,
would
I
be
will
also be
do.
really helpful. So we've
Yeah,
kept
I'll
a
do
note
that
and
now.
people can see that. That's amazing.
Absolutely. No
Awesome.
worries.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next stage, which is going to be the online application form. Let's give this a go. I'm going to make sure I can share my screen okay. Do we need to do any BSL switches or are we okay?
Yep, we're going to switch over.
We're going to switch over. So let's switch over and then we'll bring everyone online.
Yep, all good.
Lovely. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this should also come up all okay as well. Bear with me. Can everyone see my screen and see an online application form, or they see something else?
Yes, let's see that.
We see that? Okay. So this is the online form. I'm going to try and go at this as an evenly paced as possible, but we've got 8 sections for everyone to complete. Please do not feel particularly overwhelmed. Some of these sections only have 1 question in them, and we've got plenty of time for you to be able to go into the form, and you can save and close and come back and so on and so forth. So there's plenty of time to complete this. So the first question that's really important for all of us to complete is just the first question is asking what type of applicant you are, and you guys, if you are a VCFS organization, you would apply under this. It would then ask for the organization and name of organization and what best describes. There were some questions about what type of organization, CIC, community interests, a registered charity, affiliated to a regional or national organization. You can provide this information by here. You can tick them here and then enter your details through there. It would be good to provide us a little bit of information about when your organization was established or founded, any
Sorry,
trustees.
Samuel, sorry
Or,
to jump in. Can you just
oh,
scroll back up? Because I think that
course.
answers a lot of questions that are in the chat about what sort of structure you need.
Yeah,
So a company limited by guarantee, a community interest company, a registered charity, or affiliated to a regional or national organization or other. So
yeah,
those are the different types that we'll
yeah,
be looking for the VCFS applications.
yeah. Great. Real thanks, Anna. A little bit more information about the organization, when it was established. Please provide information about the trustees and members of your organization. A brief overview. So talk to us about what your organization is about, what causes is it working on, where it wants to operate, where it is currently operating, and what its overall goals are. Just a brief overview so we can get a flavor as to who you are. You need to provide evidence that your organization operates in Newham and it benefits Newham residents. So just provide information that where you are is in one of the neighborhoods and maybe give us some evidence of the work that you've done that's improved the residents and the environment around. This question is mandatory. If you or any core members of the group involved in the project have a conflict of interest, you will need to declare that. There's a breakdown of what constitutes a conflict of interest. That could be anybody with an existing relationship with a Newham Council employee or elected member, or are directly related to any other project applicant of the People Power Places program. We've got some more information on the guidance document there, but you'll need to declare that. The rest of the section is going to just ask for basic contact information. And you need to let us know how best to reach you as well. It will be really beneficial if you do have available to provide as much social media as possible. Why? As then we can then tag you and tag you in photos and spread the word and help. We can all sort of cross promote everything that we do here at People Power Places. So yes, if you have any special communication requirements, please provide that here. The next section is the project description. So you will need to let us know which you are applying to, and to provide as much information as possible where the project will take place. If you are going to do a project in a public space, we mentioned this earlier in the presentation, you need to let us know if you know who owns the land or premises, and if you have already sought permission from that individual, or you need some help with that, you need to let us know here. And this is where the next section is really basically as much information as you can about the project itself. So a nice, really cool, punchy, unique, attractive name to the project is always good. To describe the project and its purpose, what it's aiming to do, how it will benefit the community, and a breakdown as to why you're also doing this project and applying for funding. You need to let us know who the project is for, how many people you think you'll reach. So if you are looking to do a project that wants to improve skills for young people, that's the project it's for, and how many young people you want to get involved. You'll need to provide as much details about that as possible. And as we mentioned earlier, please provide evidence via consultation that your project is needed and supported by young people in your chosen neighborhood. So in this section, you would have given us a breakdown of we have conducted surveys or reached door to door or other ways of reaching out to your immediate community, and they say, yeah, we are interested in this project, we think it's going to be important, or any other evidence that shows that there might not. You need to provide that evidence. The essential criteria. We mentioned earlier as well. Please describe how your project helps to address at least one of the 3 local priorities from the community neighborhood. So we showed you the top 3 priorities of each neighborhood. You hopefully have taken a note. It will still also be on the Newham Co-Create website, but you will also need to give us a breakdown as to how your project addresses at least one of them. Yeah. The next section is a little bit sort of information from ourselves as Newham Council. As some people may or may not know, the People Power Places Fund is been set up by the Neighbourhood Community Infrastructure Levy, and they have a sort of rule, a guidance themselves about what they can or what they want funded locally. And we also have the corporate plan from Newham Council about guidance on health and well-being for Newham residents. So along with the priorities, you need to show how your project addresses these. You need to also show how your project addresses or makes an improvement or contributes to any of the 4 factors, which is community facilities, public spaces, public infrastructure, and health and well-being for residents. It would be advised when you are completing this section to have a look at the information given here in the infrastructure list and the corporate plan from Newham Council. And what you need to do there is provide a sort of breakdown as to what the positive impact will be on what you choose here after the selection. And you will need to provide a breakdown as to show how your project helps the local area grow and develop and make it a better place to live. If this particular section it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but do please get in contact with us and just let us know if you need any sort of additional guidance with that. The next section is your budget. We mentioned this earlier in this presentation as well. You will need to provide a budget and expected timeline for your project. The template is available here for download. I don't know whether if I download it, it will open up as a shared screen. I'm not too sure. I don't know if you can still see my screen, but it will provide you with an Excel sheet for you to complete all to provide all the sort of costs that your project is going to incur, and a timeline in which you expect to have parts of your project delivered and how much that will cost. You think you won't obviously you can't necessarily 100% predict your whole entire timeline. So just a rough estimate would be really appreciated. In the next part, if your project is going to need additional funding from anywhere else, you will need to let us know about that. And you also need to give us information if you have received funding in the past 5 financial years. That's including the PPP program, as well as the grant funding for anywhere else from Newham Council. And this is the main part here, that you need to just confirm that you've gone through your whole entire budget and you made sure that it's fully costed and efficiently costed, and you've been able to make the most with what you intend to use the £20,000 for, and you just click confirm and should be able to move on. Project delivery is the next section. Who will be delivering your project? So it could be the core team, it could be people who are there to help support you in terms of volunteers, maybe additional residents or young people. There could be third parties, sort of other, organizations or businesses that will help you support your project. You will need to provide that breakdown, provide that information. If there is a third party involvement, maybe a business is going to come in and you're going to pay them to deliver a part of your project, you'll need to provide specific information about that via a formal statement, and this is where you can upload that information. Under project sustainability, the initial time frame, as mentioned, is between March next year and February 2027. It would be really good to see if you do intend for the project to grow and to continue after that time frame, or you have plans to expand. If you have plans to expand your project, let us know what you think, how you think that could be possible, and if you do intend to, if that is a plan that you have. If your project intends to finish by February 2027, still let us know. Just say it's all going to be completed within the year. And the next section is basically asking if there are any risks that could affect your successful delivery of your project. So you will need to do a risk assessment of any sort of potentially unforeseen circumstances, or any issues that could cause a sort of legal or health and safety risk in delivering your project. We can provide, there's further guidance on how to complete this in the guidance documents, but each project is unique. Please let us know if there's anything specific to your project if you need help with that. With the project evaluation, you will need to provide a brief outline how you would demonstrate the benefits of your project. So this is part of the process where you need to show, what changes have you made? How are you able to put those changes into numbers? Like if you've done a project and you've reached 400 people, and out of the 400 people, they have gained, as an example, some additional skills, and this is the changes that has made. It's an evaluation of the sort of benefits and things like that. So hopefully I've kind of explained that a little bit okay, but that is how you answer that question. And the last two sections here, in the Newham Co-Create website, there will be a page in which everyone gets to promote their projects before the big vote event in November. So you'll need to provide a quick 200-word brief description of your project. Make it as punchy and as sort of exciting as possible, so people are reading and are more than sort of happy and excited and willing to vote for your project. A nice punchy 200-word description. You will need to provide that on this form, and you will need to upload it onto the Co-Create Community Neighborhood page. There are instructions of how to do that on the guidance doc. And the last section here is simply the declaration. You just basically sign and let us know that everything is accurate to the best of your knowledge. You've let anybody that's involved in this process, you let them know that this is all completed, and you are aware of the sort of rules and regulations around this process and receiving the funds. I'm going to just quickly switch my screen a little bit because that is now all complete. I'm going to
We're
stop
just
sharing.
going to swap interpreters as well.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here so I can see.
Sorry, Samuel, before we go on, would it be worth showing people how to upload their project onto New and Co-Create?
Yes. Do you
I can do
have?
that quickly.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Hold on, everybody. Interpreters, are you ready? Have you switched?
Yes.
Great, thanks. Right, which is, sorry, I am Mrs. Tabs. Let's hold on a second. Here we go. Okay. So hopefully, can you all see my screen before I continue?
Just to say, I'm going to give the deaf participants opportunity to have a look so they can zoom in on the screen before I do any interpreting. Is that okay?
Yeah, just let me know when to continue. All good?
Lovely.
Great. So here you can see a button that says click here to view our People Power Places page, or we've got this up here in the banner, People Power Places. It takes you to the same place. So just click on this and you will see we've updated it, that funding applications are open, and you need to scroll down, right down, because there's so much great information to give. Let's use Stratford and West Ham as an example. So say you want to deliver your project here, you would click, and then you can scroll down and you can see here, we've got the priorities that your project needs to align to, got information about how much funding you can apply for. So VCFS can apply for up to £20,000. You'll see a link to the online application form that Samuel just talked you through. We've got the video and audio applications. We've got the paper applications, which you'll need to request from your community neighbourhood team. Got information about the support clinics. And then you need to add your idea to co-create. So you can either click on the link here or you go up here, add a project. And then that bit's optional. So my project is called Hobbs. It's a cooking project for older people. So I'm going to put a really lovely description. This is a cooking project for older people in Stratford. Like the need is I have previously worked with, this is needed because, so some reasons why people should vote for your project. Then images, we really encourage you to put a picture on there. It just makes it so much more appealing and really captures people's attention. You can make an attachment if you want to as well. Tags are optional. Location is not. We encourage you to put the location in. Just thinking I think 2QU is for Dockside, which is where Samuel and I currently are. And then you press submit. And then, oh, how'd you go back? So now I'm on Stratford. I can see here is my project Hobbs. And this is really important. So for when we're at the voting phase, this is how residents will vote for your project. So this bit's really important. So yeah, just a little, and then you get an email to say, congratulations, your post has been published, and gives you other things that you can do. So, and you can edit that as you go. So because, sorry, I should have mentioned, you will need to create a profile to do this. So let me just log out quickly. When you go to People Powered Places, Stratford, add a project, it will ask you to log in or create an account. So just to let you know that. Oh, now it's giving away all my information. So there you go. I'll stop sharing now.
Great. Thank you very much, Anna. Okay, so we've got some hands up here. I know Anna's been answering some questions in the chat as well, but I'm going to start off with Gail, please.
Good evening. I've got lots of questions. So my first question is, the application form seems wordy, and we have obviously a large deaf community online. Is there extra support for our deaf community?
Yes. So you don't have to just use the online application form. We have you're able to submit your application via Word document, or you can submit a video or audio recording of your application.
My second question, which is also in the chat, that relates to what somebody else has put up, is our deaf community is a minority, as we do have other minority communities. It's a little confusing because you're saying go online, put information up and promote your project, and then in chat it says each project will be made anonymized. How do we ensure that our minority groups, like our deaf community, have a fair chance of getting some funding?
Sorry, I'm going to jump in on that one. So what I meant was our process is that all projects are scored by the working group, and they are anonymized at that point for the working group members to ensure there is fairness, and there is not any unconscious bias or whatever other issues. But when it goes to the public vote, of course, all projects are not anonymized. You know exactly who you're voting for. So there are lots of different ways to vote for projects. You can vote online, you can vote in your libraries or community centres, and that will be available for the whole of November. And we'll also have the big vote events, and neighbourhood teams will also be doing some outreach events. So it's really, I think all projects, but we recognise that it does affect some minority projects more than others, that, it is down to a public vote.
It may be worth doing it on percentages as opposed to number of people, is my suggestion. might make it a little bit fairer. Does that help?
We'll definitely take that one on board. Thanks, Gail.
My final question is for people that are not computer literate. Is there a way of meeting with staff for them to assist?
Absolutely. So the neighbourhood teams are on board, on hand, whenever you need. So they are based in libraries across the borough. There is a senior officer in each neighbourhood. So they can provide as much support as you need. We also have a paper version of the application form available. So if you prefer to handwrite it out, we also have that available for you.
And my final question
This is
is,
going to have to be your final question, Gail.
Yeah.
sorry, for people that would prefer for goods to be supplied as opposed to money, is that feasible?
Say that again.
For people that would need goods supplied
Right.
Mhm.
as opposed to cash, is that feasible?
So you would use the funding to buy the goods. We wouldn't be able to provide the goods for you.
No, lovely. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Great. Thank you, Gail. I'm going to bring in Abdul Ali and then Kemi.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. I have a quick question. You mentioned about when will the project will be ending. We put it on the forms and everything,
Mhm.
but to my project, I don't think it's going to end right now because it's just a football project, which I started in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Single-handedly, I've been funding this project myself, and I started with like 100. I started with 15 players, and I have right now like over 40 players, the youth in the community, and I'm still funding it with my small amount of money which I get. But it's time now to see that I need support, and that's the reason why I'm applying for these funds. Because sometimes we organize matches now on the 31st of this month. We have a match, a tournament which we're going to take on another club, which we have organized it ourselves. Yeah, so my project is just like this. It's an ongoing project. It's not going to stop today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So in terms of funding, how is it going to work?
So in the application, I'm going to bring up my screen up again just so you can see. Let's make sure I've got this here. So in my screen, we've got this question. I think you're talking about this question. You just basically need to explain if that is going to continue after it ends, after 2027, and it's going to end, and you need to show us how and why. So what you've just discussed, really, with your plans, put that into the response question. Instead of response. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Abdul. Okay. So had Abdul. Kemi.
Thanks again, Samuel. Quick question. So 2 years ago, we were shortlisted and didn't get enough votes. So I know, Anna, you spoke about the new way in which votes would be taken from the community. So my question is, should a CIC get shortlisted on this occasion, would they have the opportunity to come along to those events to promote the work that we're doing, or how does and is it like are you sending everybody to the website, or are they able to make manual votes for you as well?
Yeah, so we're following the same process as the last cycle, with the addition of some outreach voting as well. So I don't know if you remember the big vote events that we had. They were on Saturdays, I think, I want to say October 2023, potentially, where we had like a big marketplace. So all the applicants that got through the scoring process were then invited to come to the big vote events, and you all have your own stall, and residents can come up to you and find out about your project, and you can share more about it. but that's why we also encourage you to make sure that like your online presence is really good as well. And then there'll also be opportunities for residents to vote manually in libraries and community centres as well. And we'll have some like information boards up about each of the projects. So really encourage you to make your project titles snappy. I think the ones that got a bit lost were ones where it wasn't really clear what the project was about or was too long, or yeah, so really think about your project title.
Yeah, I think what the issue was for us last year is because like we observed the Sabbath, so everything that was happening on a Saturday we were not able to attend. So if they're all there again on a Saturday, not that we've been shortlisted yet, of course, but is there any other dates or days of the week that you're looking at, or are they always going to be on Saturdays?
Well, yeah, I'm really sorry. And as someone that also is, that's part of my religion as well.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
you
yeah, it
understand.
is on Saturdays. And
Yeah.
it isn't include, yeah, I do understand. And yeah, you're totally right. Which neighborhood are you going to be in? Or
Bradford.
so maybe speak with Joanna, who's your community neighborhood senior officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be in contact with her as
Maybe
well. She's
someone can
great.
come and represent you. But there'll definitely be a stall there. Maybe you could do a video and have that playing on a loop. There are different ways around that.
Okay, thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you. Can we bring in Clive next for the next question?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm not sure if you can hear me because I've got background noise, so let me know if you can.
There is quite a bit of a little background noise, a little bit of fuzz.
To get it. Can you still hear what I'm asking?
I can. It's got a lot more clearer now.
Okay, thank you. The question is, it's about these, once you get shortlisted, where you hold these surgeries and open things. We're in Custom House. We're based in Custom House. Go down to Beckton. It's not our people down there. People aren't coming down to Beckton, so people don't vote locally. It feels very weighed against what you can do. And we found that a lot of people had a community of interest, like the small sports clubs and that. They had a lot of people involved. They got the vote. So no matter how we got through to the last round, and we did the whole due diligence, sat there all day, there's nobody going to vote because the activity is happening in Custom House, and they're all in Beckton, and no one's there. How are we going to address that if we do get shortlisted again?
Hi, Clive. That's a really good question. And yeah, something that we know was a struggle for a lot of projects. And in other neighborhoods, so like Plasto and Green Street, they were both like in different parts of the borough altogether. So I don't know. We haven't yet set the locations for each of the events just yet. So that's something that we need to look into, but it'll be worth again speaking to your neighborhood teams. I know Medine, oh, I can see Medine on the call. I know that she like put on a different voting event and like did loads to try and reach out to residents to try and encourage them to vote. But yeah, we do recognize that is an issue, but unfortunately we just can't be everywhere all at once, all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to go. It's not about being everywhere all at once, but what tended to happen is the people that brought people along with them, right? I've got a sports club with 3,000 people in there. I've only got an arts organisation with 10, 20 of us. You know, the sports club gets the votes. And that's what I'm saying. Is there any way you can change the inequality to it's not just the people of interest, but the good projects that may get through? I'm not saying, but
yeah,
I'm saying there is a problematic thing with the system.
Yeah, we do recognise that some organisations naturally have a larger reach than others, schools, for example. But we encourage, it's not just about voting. Residents can vote for up to 10 projects. So it's not just about voting for the one you know. We're really encouraging people to vote for the full 10 and to make your projects sound really, say what it is on the tin. That's not the phrase. That is the phrase. What it is on the tin so that people understand what they're voting for really quickly. And yeah, we will have outreach voting, online voting, drop-in sessions in the libraries and community centres. So it's not just at the events.
Is that
I'm just going to swap interpreters if that's okay.
Yeah.
okay?
Lovely, thank you.
And just want to check, was we able to cover all the points you needed there?
It's some of them. The other one is there's a lot of investment. We're saying to get the community engagement, like go out to your community. If you want to get really out to your community, it costs money into the grants. And so showing that to you guys and then no sort of thing, thinking we're still not going to be in the best place, even if we spend that money to show that we've done the research, that is a bit of a barrier as well. And if you've got no money at all to put into the research and no front facing thing, you're on the back foot because it's hard to show that your project is needed. I mean, we can do it, but I'm still thinking of other people as well, and also thinking about the sheer cost that you put up front just to trying to get. It seems like a big grant, but sometimes 20 grand isn't. You know, it's a lot of investment if you spend 10 grand to get 20.
I hear you there, and appreciate that feedback. But with support in terms of research and trying to get that out there and find out, you know, via the consultation, if people do need help and support with that, we can do our best in terms of supporting the neighborhood teams, especially those who are applying as a resident or youth-led applicant. So we will do our best to help you with that, really. But we did definitely take your point there. I want to bring in Shafi, and then Gail, and then Shava. So Shafi, if he wants.
Hi everyone, so thank you. So what I'd like to mention is we have a project in mind. It's for the deaf community. What we do is we invite various different organizations, work with different partners. So my manager had applied for this project 2 years ago to the PPP project. She applied 2 years ago. However, we didn't have enough votes. And I think it was about promoting the event and also for deaf people to understand how to vote. They didn't know how to vote. They attended the workshop, but that was explained and unfortunately weren't able to get the votes. So another staff member informed me that, you know, the application was great. However, there wasn't enough votes and we needed to get more votes. And I'm thinking, okay, so how do we reach that? How do we make sure that the deaf community understand? So within Newham, we have lots of deaf people. We have even more deaf people outside the boroughs. So we try to engage with lots of people. And can we have, you know, support in promoting our events and knowing how we can promote the deaf community? Because this is something that we need more understanding and support with.
Okay, Brill, thank you for that question. That is definitely something we need to kind of take back. I want to take back with the team. I don't have, I'll be honest, I do not have an immediate answer for you right now.
Can I
Um,
come in?
oh,
Sorry.
Anna's going to come in. Here we
Hi,
go.
Shafi. Good to see you. I just want to say to you that you have the connections. You are completely embedded in the deaf community. So you can represent People Power Places program to the people that you work with, that you know, to your networks. So I would really encourage you to utilize those connections as much as you can. We can definitely help you provide all the information that you need. But on the other hand, like you also have the people to vote as well. So I guess what I want to say is that for everyone, it's not a one-way street. You know, we can provide this opportunity, but you're also embedded in communities and in groups that might not have a clue about people-powered places, might not go down to their local library. And you know those people, so you can bring them in and encourage them to get involved, not only in voting, but also then coming along to the projects as well. So, you know, I think this is a two-way street where we can both support each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anna, it's
Yeah.
Jyoti here.
I will do that. Thank you.
Hi,
Sorry, Anna.
Jyoti.
Hi. Sati has asked me that question as well, and her question was: the deaf people come from across the borough. Can they vote for their project from across the borough? That was their
Yeah. So that's one of the changes that we've made to this cycle as well. You don't have to just vote where you live, work, or study. You can vote, you can only vote in one neighbourhood, but it doesn't matter if you live, work, or study in that neighbourhood. So that's a change from the last cycle.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. And I'll let the deaf people know. I think it's just, and I'll contact again just to have a bit more of a discussion with yourself.
Great.
Thank
you,
you.
Shafi. Thank you, Shafi. Can we bring in Shova? Shova, are you there? Shova De Silva Williams.
Mute. Sorry, I'm here now.
Okay. Hi there.
I'm here. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Okay, I forgot that I was on mute. Okay, nice to listen to you all, and it's nice to be here. Okay, well, I think it is very sad that previous good projects can no longer apply for funding. My project, the Healing Calf, is great, and everyone knows it's great. And the funding really helped to make it much better than it was. But people are now struggling to afford various events and activities. And I really cannot end that project in order to start a new one. That's going to be very, very difficult for me. I'm not a young woman, but I love what I do, and I love to see people happy. I love to make the elderly smile. I love to make the lonely happy and see them smiling. But sadly, I cannot do that any longer because I can't apply for help for this anymore. And this is making me really sad.
Hi, Shava. It's good to see you here. We know that your project, the Healing Cafe, is amazing. Your reach was incredible. Unfortunately, so sorry. Is your question that you've already had funding 3 times, or it's because you would like to do the same thing again?
I've only applied for funding the once. That was 2023.
Yeah.
And I've applied for a small grant, which I'm still waiting to see, because this grant is to cover me for my August project in August. And I'm still waiting. People are asking me, so do you need us? Do you need us? And I don't know what to say, because until the money comes through, I'm afraid to say yes. But
Yeah.
I do need for this to happen, but it's difficult for me to move forward.
So Sheva, I can't answer about the small grants fund because that's a different team, unfortunately.
I know. But yeah,
you can apply again for People Power Places funding, but we do say that you can't do exactly the same thing again. Perhaps there's like a slightly different angle or a different focus, or you notice doing in the last project that something that you tried once worked really well and you want to try and expand that bit again. So we'd encourage you to look really creatively at your project and your neighborhood team. I can't remember if you're Forest Gate or Stratford.
I'm Stratford.
So Joanna will be able to, and Joy too.
Yeah, I was at the last meeting. I always come to the meetings.
I know, and your videos are amazing. I love them.
And I know that I will continue to support others. But I feel sad that there are so many poor people, so many elderly, that I took them on a trip last week, Saturday, and they were moaning at the food. They couldn't afford the food, whereas when I took them last year, I was able to help them with the food, and now I felt sad for them.
Yeah.
Because the food was expensive. And this is how I feel for these people. And I just don't know what to do. I can't feed them out my own pocket because I haven't got it myself.
Yeah, but I also think that's where you should start looking for other funding, because People Power Places, it's sort of every other year that you get funding. And it's getting darker and darker where I'm sitting. The lights have gone off. But yeah, you can work with Joanna and Joy to look at other forms of funding to help sustain your project beyond
Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for what I received in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. And think about it this way as well. It's also about the fairness of new projects and new ideas that other residents will want to apply for funding for.
Yeah.
And so it's also that component. Who
Mm.
knows? There may be a project that actually might do what you're trying to also do as well. We won't know until we'll
Mm.
see. But it's
Mm.
about fairness of new projects, new ideas.
Mm.
So
Mm.
everyone has been given an opportunity and a chance, and
Mm.
it's great
Mm.
what you've done. Keep
Mm.
going, and
Mm.
hopefully we can bring in more opportunities that are doing similar things in other places or different ideas
Mm.
in some ways.
Mm.
Good
Well, I
stuff.
will continue to
Yeah,
support others, you know.
great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we bring in Gail in next?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Sorry, two of the people spoke. They said disability. There's the cafes that are opening, the disability cafes. They can get votes from them. They will support them. That's one avenue. But for Beckton, we have never got funding, so it ties into what you just said. Beckton area's always been deprived for the last 20 years of a lot of opportunities. So I'm glad we're getting it. But my main question is, with regards to Newham, it's getting permissions, like for example, parks, places, and also if storage facilities from places in Newham, if we are running events. And even prior to this PPP, we've been trying to get in communication with these groups. So what we need to put in our proposals, to put pricings and costings, is the different departments within Newham to actually contact us, because at present we're being ghosted.
Okay. What I would say to that will be, um, hmm, hmm, okay.
So we need if there's a coordinator who can filter and get quick response, because we want quick response, especially when there's money involved.
Sure.
So Gail, there's Samantha, who's your senior officer in Beckton and Royal Docks, who can broker that relationship with the parks team. But we've
All
also
right.
got a catalogue of costs, which is online. And
I looked on the catalogue, the cost for example, the park side of it, and then it said contact the number, and we tried and emailed and we tried. Samantha, I think we have put it forward, but I'll double check if I'm incorrect. But all I'm saying is, so now we'll look to Samantha to see if she can fast track these then.
Yeah, I hope she'll be able to support you if needed. And I was just about to say thank you, Anna, that the catalogue is costed there, but you've got that covered. But yes, your community neighborhood team should be able to support you. Do let us know.
All right.
I'm going to bring in Jill next, and then Leandra. So Jill.
Hi, thank you. I just had a question in the chat, which is, again, apologies if people already know this and it's obvious. So so for us, we're definitely going to be promoting. I'm excited to start doing this, but also mindful that we're going to be targeting our area so that the people in our area can vote. How does the council ensure that the people who vote for projects in our area are from our area?
so
Awesome.
yeah, that's sorry, I just had to run around to get the lights on because they're motion censored. So we've lifted that criteria in this cycle. So you can only vote in one neighborhood, but you don't just have to vote in where you live, work, or study. Firstly. Secondly, in all the paper ballots, we ask for postcodes. We don't accept them if they don't have a postcode. And when you do your online co-create profile, you also put in a postcode there. So we're collecting that information wherever. And then in terms of making sure that it's fair, that it's one vote per person, we do cross-reference. So we are checking about multiple votes and making sure it's one vote per person. We also, people have to vote in the library where a member of staff can see that. So we know you're not just filling in for Bill and Susan and Jeremy. For that one person's doing 3. And we, like with the outreach, like there will be a member of staff there to ensure again that it is 1 vote per person. We do everything we possibly can do to ensure that. I'm sure that there are ones that get through the cracks, but we really try our very best to safeguard against that.
Perfect. So just confirming, so can someone from Royal Victoria vote for projects in Stratford?
Yeah.
Okay, and me as a Stratford person, I can vote for projects in Royal Victoria.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean that the way we promote is not just, so I'm from Stratford, so does that mean that I shouldn't just promote within the Stratford area, but to all boroughs in Newham, because I have a wider audience of people who can vote?
Yeah, I think thinking about it as like communities of identity rather than communities of place. So I mean, the deaf community is a good example. I think one of the barriers in the last cycle was that you could only vote where you live, work, or study, but people don't experience Newham like that. They're like, but I want to go to my club at Stratford Library, but also down the road, but I live down the road in Plaistow. So I guess if your project is trying to reach a certain demographic, it's about doing it that way rather than place-based, if that helps make it feel less overwhelming, because like having to do a borough-wide campaign can be quite daunting.
Absolutely. But also, like, I know other people have questions, but I do want to just share a massive appreciation. I have so much respect for what People Powered Places are doing, because I have applied for grants in other trusts and foundations, and it does feel like a black box. Like, you don't know what their priorities are, you don't know who's voting, and this feels like a really democratic approach where you're asking the residents what they want, and then you're giving them the chance to upvote. So I'm a huge fan, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And the briefing was really good.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. That really means a lot to hear that. Appreciate it.
We're just gonna swap over with the interpreters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we okay?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Lovely. Neandra, do you want to come in?
Yeah, hi. It's not really a question. It's more just putting information out there. It's also kind of connected to what Jill was saying. So as well as doing arts and culture events, I also write for Newham Voices. So Newham Voices is a community newspaper that serves the whole of Newham. So just putting it out there, if anyone kind of wants to mention their projects or anyone needs any support, get in touch with Newham Voices. You can contact us via our website or info@newhamvoices.co.uk or myself directly. I'll put both emails in the chat so everyone can see that. But as I said, you know, Newham Voices is always happy to support and encourage any project within Newham. So yeah.
Thank you very much for that. I think we've had some really good pointers. People shared a lot of really helpful information with each other tonight. If you're still in the room and haven't yet put it in the chat, that would be really great. So everyone gets a chance to make note. I want to bring in Ruth and Gail. I want to double check whether that's a legacy hand or you have a new question, but let's bring in Ruth.
Hi, yeah, there was a gentleman, Clyde, in the last lot of questions that you were people were asking. I think Clive and Clyde were talking at the same time. And I don't know if Clyde is still there, but I think he wanted to ask a question.
Clyde, is there a Clyde here?
There's Clive, but I
Clive?
thought you really answered my questions. So
Yeah, no, it wasn't Clive. There was a Clyde, but I think he's dropped off.
He's
Because
dropped off.
I think he had a question.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we possibly missed him. Apologies for that. If we've got his email address in the registration, we might be able to get in contact with him and see if we can get in contact, and we can inquire about his question afterwards. Is that okay, Ruth?
Absolutely, thank you.
No worries. Did you have any questions at all, or that was the only query?
No, that was the only. I just wanted to mention it because I went to a Compass London event with him a few weeks ago, and he had some questions, and he was told that this was going to come up, so for him to ask it. And at the point when you said Clive, he thought you said Clyde, so he started talking and it clashed. But I think he's come off the call.
All fine. Brill, thank you. Kemi?
Just a very quick one again. I would want to agree as well to say how useful this session has been. But one of the things that I just want to clarify about this voting is, what is the reasoning behind only being able to vote in one part of the ward? So if I work in Newham, what is the reasoning behind me not being able to vote for like 10 projects across the different wards? If I live in Newham, why am I only focusing on one ward, even if that's not the one that I live in? If you could just help me to understand that, then I'll be able to explain it to others. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because we made the change to sort of lift only being able to vote where you live, work, or study, because as I said, people just don't experience Newham in that way. But then we limited it to one, and now, yeah, you've got me thinking, why have we done that? I think it's just to make it fair. But let me come back to you on that, and maybe we'll review that decision, because when sometimes you hear things being said out loud, you're like, oh yeah. So, and as we
Well,
always say, we're a learning program. We're always
absolutely.
evolving and always trying to improve.
Yeah.
So thank you for that one. We'll take that away. What
No,
will
thank
you
you.
drop
It's just,
your email so I can come back to you, or I'll drop my email
yeah.
so you can, if you don't want to share it publicly.
Yeah, sure. And I'll put it in the chat already. Just for anybody that wants to connect. But I think it was something that Clive said with regard to like the votes, and that was an issue for us 2 years ago. So if you know somebody that lives in Newham and they just know you're doing a really good project over here, they can support you, and then that would take away everyone feeling as if that area hasn't got enough people that would actually access my service. And then, yeah, because I can kind of feel that similar things could happen to what happened 2 years ago. So thank you for listening, though. I appreciate that.
No.
All right, take care now.
Thank you very much. We're coming close to the end of the presentation. We have 9 minutes left. We can still leave the floor absolutely open for any questions about the application form, or any questions about the process overall, any questions specific to your project idea. Otherwise, we'll give it just one quick shout if anybody has any more
Oh, sorry,
questions or
Samuel.
feedback.
Just to say that we have a feedback form. So if
Yeah,
you're looking to drop off now, please do complete that so we know how we've
yeah.
done, and we can, as we say, always learning, always trying to improve. That will really help us. And Samuel, do you want to just share the slides of the contact details, which we've been
Yes,
promising you for the last 2 hours?
I have put put a PDF of the community neighborhood teams contact information in the chat already, but I'll also share my slides. Bear with me 1 second, just make sure I've got this here in front of me. Here we go. So we've got the community neighborhood teams contact information here. Do take a photo. The PDF's in the chat, but do take a photo if you need as well, so you can reach out to the teams. I'm going to keep this up for the next few moments or so. Yeah, I think after this, we are at the end of the support clinic, but we still can leave the room open for any further questions from anyone. Do we see any hands up at all, Hannah?
No, well, thank you everyone for attending. Really appreciate it. I'm going to write down Kemi's. It's not letting me copy and paste. And just to say to everyone who's still here that your neighbourhood teams are running local support clinics. So please keep an eye on the website, on local newsletters. They'll be publicising them there. But yes, do they need to prove that they're from our area versus a different area? Just asking. They just need to put in a postcode. I guess the Newham postcode for where they live, work, or study. Yes, as Medine said, there will be local support clinics. Do we contact neighbourhood? Yeah, please do contact your community neighbourhood team about a specific question. They're the ones that are there to provide that personalised support. Is there a printed version of co-create content? What do you mean by that, Rani? Oh, you're 3, right? I've been seeing you actually. Do you mean of the application form or? The application, yes, there is a paper application form. Just ask your community neighbourhood team for this. No worries.
Lufa, you had your hand up there for a second. If you're there to answer your question.
I would like to say thank you to participate us, and it is so grateful to get a more idea to power community project power, that one. It's so grateful, and I would like to apply this year behalf of my organization Newham Bangladesh Welfare Association. Thank you once again.
No worries. Do if you can do complete the feedback form, because we always need them to improve and make sure we do better with
Thank
clinics
you.
like these for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Abdul?
Yeah, I was just want to ask about the application form as well, but she said that we have to tell our community what?
The community neighborhood team if you want a Word application form.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah?
Oh, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay, I think we are going to draw to a close. Thank you so much, everyone, for being patient with us. Thank you so much to the BSL interpreters for taking part in this session. Thank you, Anna, for helping me and helping us make this happen. She's done phenomenal hard work behind the scenes to make all of this happen. So I want to give absolute thanks to her. Thank you, everyone, for being patient with us, asking us questions, being involved. We wish you the absolute best with your project. We wish you well. We are here to support you. Do get your applications in, and we really look forward to seeing what comes from it. And we really look forward to seeing the amazing stuff that hopefully you guys will get to do next year when you do your project. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening. And big up Irina, big up everyone. And a massive thank you, obviously, to the community neighborhood teams as well, because they are in this to support all of us through this time. So they've done great too. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Big up yourself.
Bye-bye.
Big up, big up.
Bye.
Big up.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Team, take care.